Previously on the Crenshaw Corner, that you know CPR. You've been trained.
Mm-hmm.
You went through the courses.
Mm-hmm.
You have your certificate.
Right.
If someone beside you
Mm-hmm.
stops breathing and you don't utilize the knowledge to save them, you having the knowledge means nothing.
Right. It means absolutely nothing.
It means absolutely nothing because you didn't apply it.
Right.
So having the knowledge of your spouse's love language, but not applying it means nothing.
Yeah. It means absolutely nothing.
You're watching them not breathe. You're watching them not breathe. You have the knowledge and the know-how. Well, hello there, family. I didn't see you there. And welcome back to another episode of the Crenshaw Corner podcast. I am your host, Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the absolute best part of my day.
Who, me?
The apple of my eye.
I am.
The wind beneath my wings.
Belong, y'all.
The rib that completes me.
He's completed. Can I ask you a question before we even go any further?
What's up?
Like, if I'm the apple of your eye, what apple am I? Like, what apple? Because I like Granny Smith apples. What apple would I be for you?
You are, what's some joints? The crisp.
The who?
The crisp.
The crisp apples?
Yeah. I like, nah, you a gala. You the gala. Yeah. You a
Gala?
gala. Yeah.
Gala apple?
Yeah.
Why Gala?
They sweet.
They sweet.
They crispy.
They crispy.
They smaller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very compact apple.
Yeah, very compact. Very
Okay,
compact.
got it.
Very
Got
compact.
it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that
carry on.
right there.
I just want to ask that question because I've never asked that before.
That's
I need
fine.
to know what apple would I be.
That's fine.
I
That's
would feel
fine.
great.
The rib that completes me.
He's completed, guys. He is completed.
The Amy to my Sheldon.
It's the one with the little meteor and the stars. Nope. I know this one. I know this. Hold on. Holden.
Holden.
Because I was thinking of Sheldon.
I actually know a guy named Holden.
Do you really?
Yeah, I did in my past.
Oh, Sheldon. It's the one with the little circle, him and the friends and
The Four Geniuses Friends.
The Four Geniuses Friends. But
Right.
It's something about circling the world.
It's a theory.
Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory.
The
Look
Big
at you,
Bang
girl.
Theory. Look at me. You see me.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Amy Farrah Fowler.
I'm proud of myself.
So proud of you. Who is you?
Thank you. Oh, what's going on, family? What is going on, guys? I am Angela Crenshaw, guys. What is going on?
That is my wife,
guys?
family. That is my wife.
I'm his wife.
Family, as always, we thank you.
Yes, guys.
We thank you for listening. We thank you for being a part. However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Podbean, whether it's on iHeartRadio, whether it's on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com. We thank you so much for being here. As always, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast.
We be interactive.
Which means we can be found on the socials.
Come on now.
We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube.
Yes.
And, of course, you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. Once again, thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
You did good, babe.
I did. I kept it short, though.
You did. You did really
Yeah.
good.
So just know wherever all your finest podcast locations,
we are there.
we're there. You can find us.
You can find us. So we're not saying aluminum foil no more because it's the fall.
It's the fall.
Right? So we saying, make sure you bring some Tupperware so you can take some with you.
There you go
a
again
nugget,
with that.
a jewel.
There you go again with
aha
that.
moment. Throw it in the bowl, y'all.
Throw it in the bowl. Take it with you.
Maybe that's a new one. Throw it in the bowl.
Heat it up for later.
Heat it up for later. Check it out later.
What's going on, baby?
Nothing much. What's going on with you, Mr. Crenshaw?
Nothing. I'm excited to speak to you.
Oh, thank you.
I love talking to you.
That's so awesome.
So I'm ready to have a conversation.
How did you rest?
How did I rest?
Yeah. Honestly, how did you rest?
Not well.
Oh.
It was one of those situations where I slept,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't necessarily a good sleep.
Oh, what is considered good sleep then? When you say that,
I say that for me, a good sleep is when you're not restless through your sleep, when you don't remember sleeping. To me, that's a good sleep.
like you wake up and
When time has elapsed.
Okay.
When you went to bed at 1 hour, you close your eyes, and next thing you know, it was 13 hours later.
You slept.
And you have no idea what happened in between.
That's your rest.
To me, that's a really good rest.
Yeah.
What I experienced was I know that I was sleeping, And in the midst of it, it was, I felt myself being restless. I felt myself kind of coming back into consciousness and going. So yeah, it wasn't a really good rest.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It is what it is.
Okay. Well, this is what we're going to talk about today.
What we talking? We talking about sleep? Talking about my sleep pattern?
No, not just sleep pattern.
Oh,
We're going to talk about rest. Because when people hear rest, the
Right.
first thing they think about is just sleep,
this is true.
right? If I go, baby, go rest, you think I'm going to say take a nap.
Taking a nap.
Take a nap.
Like our girl said, I don't want to sleep right now.
Now, you don't, which one? Cause
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both.
Both don't want to. And we know mama don't sleep.
She don't want to sleep at all.
Rose be at 1 o'clock in the morning jumping on the bed. So she letting you know she not that she don't want to sleep. She ain't going
She
to
not
sleep.
going to.
Ain't going to sleep. Yes. So listen, I want to talk about types of rest that
Okay.
that everyone needs. Now I looked this up because I needed to know with rest because we've been on the go for the last couple of month and a half or whatever. So
Years.
on the go.
Years.
You say years?
Decades.
Decades. Okay. And so where we need rest, and the only rest that we think we need sometime is just to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And if we go to sleep, everything will be okay, which is normally true. If
Yeah.
you're aggravated, frustrated, if you go to sleep, you can get back up with a fresh perspective. So I'm not saying don't go to sleep,
Yeah.
but I am saying that there may be some other type of rest that people have not thought about that I want to bring to the forefront
Okay.
from my research. And
Let's
then you
talk
can
about
tell
it.
me what you think about it as well.
Let's talk about
So
it.
we're not going to talk about the physical sleep rest right now. We're going to move to something totally different.
Okay. Well, before we do though, but understand, it's very important too though. Sleep is very important.
It is very important.
Sleep is the body's reset.
Yes, it is.
It allows your body to reset. It allows your emotions to reset. It allows your mental to reset. And people lose that because especially now, because we're in this hustle
Bustle world.
Yeah, this hustle culture.
Yeah.
Where people are literally telling you, don't sleep.
Yeah.
Work
now, sleep later.
Sleep when you're dead. Well, that's not how that works.
Body broke down.
Because you're going to be dead a lot sooner if you're
Mhm.
not actually allowing your body to reset
Yeah,
and
to
rest.
rejuvenate. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're telling people, no, I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning. By 1:15, I've read 13 books. By 1:45, I've ran 13 miles. Now me and my wife, we gonna do a mindful meditation of our baby toe, and we gonna do that for the next 23 minutes. And now by 6 o'clock, I completed my entire day. What have you done? And they doing stupid and they saying stupid stuff like that.
Okay, don't say that it's stupid. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
It's not stupid. It is a philosophy.
Okay.
That if you're not careful, you're not able to complete with whole health. Put it
Right.
like that.
Okay. Let's go with that.
With whole health. And I only say that because if that's the case, which I'm a firm believer early morning.
Right.
I'm an early riser, so you know me. I'm ready to roll. I done did
Yeah.
a couple of things by the time I get up. By the time you get up, because we have different sleep patterns. But what I do believe is sometimes that's good for a couple of days, but not every single day.
Yeah, no, we trying to
Begin
convince
wore
people.
out.
Yeah, we trying to convince people that this is the life that if you sleeping more than 30 minutes a day, you wasting your life away.
What are you doing with your life?
What are you doing with your life?
Are you done?
If you
with it?
sleep more than 33 minutes a day, you was wasting your life.
What's happening over here? What's happening? You okay over there?
I'm good. Okay. Continue.
All right. You sure? Rest. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to discuss with you and tell me what your thoughts is.
All right, talk to me.
I'm going to start. The first one is with mental rest.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know they need to take a mental rest,
Right.
or a mental break,
Break.
because mental health is so important, especially right now, like you said, with the hustle and the bustle of everything. So you really need to take a mental rest. What do you think? What do you think a mental rest is?
I think, first of all, I truly believe that is one of the most important things to do is to take a mental break day, a mental rest day. We've gotten better as a society of understanding the importance of mental health because we know for the longest time it was a flippant thought process, or no one really put. If you said anything about mental, they automatically thought either you were crazy or you were lazy or you just didn't want to do. And that's so far from the truth.
Right.
What I think of being taking a mental break or mental health day, it's not necessarily turning your mind off, because you can't turn your mind off. That's not possible. But it's refocusing your thoughts. So we know that there are stresses in life, and in some people's lives they're a little more stressed than others, depending on the situations you're going through.
Right.
And so it's refocusing where you're not putting so much thought process and energy into what's going wrong in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're refocusing and thinking, okay, what's going right? Let me think about what's going right currently.
Mm-hmm.
What win do I have for this moment?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have a victory for the entire day, what win do I have in this moment here? And to me, a mental break or mental health or mental rest is just refocusing your thoughts or rechanneling your thoughts in a different way. If that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's what most people think,
Okay.
right?
Right.
But a mental rest is just stop thinking about everything.
Okay.
Meditate.
Okay.
Take a quiet walk.
Right.
While you're working during the day, take a break from working and just take 15 to 20 minutes. And there's a thing about the world. In corporate America, you get 2 15-minute breaks.
2 15 minutes.
And those breaks are actually and people and I didn't think of it this way until I just thought about it just now. That's so weird. None of that sounded proper.
It's okay. We know what you're
But
saying.
anyway,
Family
the
used to.
15-minute breaks that the job says you can have, right, are really to step away from your desk
Right.
and take time to stop thinking about the work, stop thinking about the stressors and everything, and just breathe and take a break. It is very rarely that people even take the 15-minute breaks.
I was about to say that, especially
Very rarely.
now, understanding that we understand that we have a global family,
All over the world.
and we appreciate our global family. And we know that across the world,
Yeah.
there's different thought processes behind that.
Behind mental rest.
The time mental rest and the 15 minutes in the breaks.
Mhm.
But right now, we're going to speak from a westernized
Okay.
mindset. We're going to speak about where currently we are
Right.
in the U.S.
Mhm.
So within the U.S., work culture and work life,
Mhm.
it's horrible. If we're just going to be honest, the mindset is horrible. The stresses are horrible. And so, and like you said, there are individuals who they are afraid to leave their desk
Yes.
for their 15-minute break
Yes.
because it's so much work they have to do, or this has to be done, or their boss or their manager or their supervisor, whoever they report to, may frown upon them because they actually are taking the breaks that their company gives them.
Yeah.
And so, and it's so many people, and I'm guilty of it myself.
I'm guilty too. So that's why I thought when we were talking, as I was sitting, I was like, well, that's the purpose of the 15-minute break.
Yeah.
When you work, that is the actual purpose of it. To be honest, is to take a mental rest.
Or my favorite individuals, because once again, I'm guilty myself. I'm just work through lunch. Don't even leave their desk.
Right.
I'm gonna just work through lunch, and
Right.
or I'm gonna eat at my desk so I don't miss anything. Or
Yeah.
I still got some stuff I need to get done.
Right.
And then you wonder why you spend your entire day on edge,
Exactly.
and you spend your entire day in fast forward.
Right, because you didn't take the opportunity. Take an opportunity to take what's available to you and utilizing it.
Right.
So the 15-minute breaks at work is just those short breaks to walk away, to refocus, to regenerate, to relax, not thinking about anything else, but just meditating in quiet time, whether it be a 15-minute walk, a 15-minute meditation, a 15 close your eyes and take a nap and set your alarm. Please don't oversleep. But anything that you can do basically to just rest your body, just to rest from thinking about everything that's coming at you, right?
You know who one of my favorite people in the world is?
Mm-hmm.
My youngest grandson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, y'all don't play.
He don't play about his rest.
No, he don't play about his rest.
He don't care what's going on.
Nope.
He don't care what you doing.
Nope.
He don't care where he at.
Nope. He drops.
He drops.
He'll tell you.
He give you a warning.
He say, I'm tired.
He say, I'm sleepy.
I'm sleepy. I'm tired.
He say, Pop, I'm sleepy.
I'm tired. But at middle of the day, he don't even care.
It don't matter. And his thing is, once he says, I'm sleepy.
Oh, it's over.
Very soon,
yeah,
he gonna take it on.
He gonna take a break.
He gonna take a break.
He takes a break.
And the crazy part is that, and I know biblically, it's, you become an adult, you put away childish things. I know that. But it also says that from the mouth of babes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we learn things
Mm-hmm.
from children.
Right.
We learn things from childhood, things that we forget to take into adulthood.
Right.
Because there's some things that we leave behind
Mm-hmm.
in childhood that we should take into adulthood.
Yes, sir.
That it doesn't make you less of an adult. It would actually make you a better person and a better adult.
Exactly.
Things like creativity. For whatever reason, we want to leave our creative thoughts and creative mindset into our childhood and don't take it into adult. Children know how to rest.
Yeah, well, they were taught early to take naps.
Take naps.
They had to take naps at school. If you went to daycare,
you taking naps.
You taking a nap, whether you want to or not. Nap is happening.
I'm old enough to remember nap time in regular school. I'm going to age myself. Because there was in regular school, in regular grammar school.
Not regular grammar school.
Regular grammar school. We took naps. Because it was understood the importance of the reset. But adults, we don't understand that you have to reset.
Yeah.
It's kind of, okay. One thing people tell you about, if you know anything about smartphones, about computers, about anything technological.
Okay, go with that.
Every once in a while, you have to power it down. It doesn't run to its optimal performance if you don't power it down every once in a while.
Right.
But as human beings, we think we can go.
Oh, we can until you pass out. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do until your physical body says not no more.
Yeah.
Not no more. Not no more.
The one thing I noticed about the Crenshaws, and I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones, the Crenshaws are always in a perpetual fast forward.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
We're always in a rush.
We're always walking fast when we don't have to.
No matter what we're doing, we're always in a rush. We wake up in a rush. We get dressed in a rush. Excuse me, family. We eat in a rush. I drive in a rush.
Yeah.
And we do everything in a rush.
Yeah.
And to the point, it's like, what are we rushing for? What are we rushing to? Why are we in a perpetual state of fast forward?
Because that's how our minds are working, because we don't give our minds the mental rest that they need. Now, here's the thing, what I've been guilty. I think over the last 2 or 3 years, the company that I work for gives you 2 mental days.
Right.
Right. And what that happens is you don't have to give a reason. You don't have to call ahead. You could be in your house and go, you know what? I need a mental day. And you call and there's no repercussions. There's no questions asked. Why are you taking this day? You have 2 days to do that. Right. And I have, in the couple of years that we've done it, I have taken a mental day and stayed home and didn't take a mental day. I either found something to clean, something to do, something.
Yeah.
And my mind was just as rushed and not refreshed by the time I went back to work, because I took the day to take the day to do more stuff.
Which defeats the purpose.
Defeats the purpose. Then I could have just kept my 2 mental health days, because that's what they call them, 2 mental health days. If I'm just going to do that versus taking the time to refocus, to meditate, to breathe, to think, to just, of course, your mind can never be clear, but just give your mind the rest that it needs to not be always in the hustle bustle of life, right?
And also, it's a reprogramming.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us were taught, and a lot of us in a mindset of, if you're not constantly doing something, you're being unproductive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you're not accomplishing anything,
Right.
or you're being lazy. If you're not constantly always doing something has to be clean. Something has to be put in order. Something, you have to be doing something, and not realizing that is ruining us.
Yeah.
That's ruining us physically, us mentally, us emotionally.
Yeah.
Because to always be on, I think people don't understand that concept. To always be on at all times is draining.
Yeah. That's why people say that jobs where you have to work your mental capacity is so much more draining than a physical.
Yeah.
You know, that's what a lot of people think. So let's talk about the physical rest. And basically, when we talk about physical rest, of course, it's resting your body, sleeping well, but it's also the things that we don't think about, like stretching your body. Because again, to stretch your body, our body is only getting old because we're not putting it to great use. We're not stretching our body. So that's another way of physical rest. Exercising, doing some gentle, maybe some yoga, some tai chi, because the physical rest not only is the resting of napping and sleeping, but also the physical rest is also how we take care of our bodies, basically being gentle to our bodies, because the hustle and the bustle, that means we're moving fast, we're wearing our bodies out.
Right.
So you have to think about that too. And also take like a power nap, like we talked about earlier. Taking a power nap, just to rejuvenate your body in the middle of the day. I don't care. Those 15-minute breaks, you can take a 15-minute nap, but you have got to give your physical body some rest as well, because this is the only body that you have. You're not getting another one. This is it, right? And if you wear and tear on this body, you will suffer the consequences. Because here's the thing that I realized. I have been telling Sanchez is I'm so mad at 35-year-old me, that she did not consider 56-year-old Angela.
Yeah.
She didn't consider her physically, mentally, spiritually. She did not consider her. So 56-year-old Angela is really got the consequences for 35-year-old Angela not thinking about her in that way, thinking, live forever. I got time and all of this stuff. So now 56-year-old Angela, am I 56?
You're
I feel
56.
great. Okay,
You're
56 Angela has to consider 76-year-old Angela now. So everything I do now at this point, if I don't do it, then 76-year-old Angela,
He's going to be really upset
she's
with
going to
you.
be really pissed off.
Yeah.
So you didn't give me no mental rest. You didn't give me no physical rest. What's your thoughts on that?
And you're so right, because what's going to happen is that her quality of life,
Yeah.
and we don't think
will
about
dwindle.
that. It's going to dwindle. I'm sitting, as you were thinking about that, I'm thinking about my current manager. We've touched on it. We haven't went into great detail, and we probably won't go into great detail. But as we always say, currently life has been lifing.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of everything that's been going on, I've been trying to still put my full effort into my current position and doing my job to the best of my ability. But my manager knows what's going on. And the crazy part is that even though my manager keeps telling me to step away,
Mm-hmm.
my manager keeps telling me take time.
Right.
I've been fighting my manager on every time he says step away. I say, no, I'm good. I got it. This is what,
Right.
I know what's going on. And he say, but Sanchez, step away. I'm like, but boss, I'm good. I promise. I'm fighting him on stepping away and taking that rest, to the point he said to me the other day, I don't even think I told you. He said, you do realize if you were to get hit by a bus today, we would have to figure it out.
Right.
He said, it may be hard, but we would have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's okay.
Right.
You can step away. We will figure it out. If we have to pull all the resources,
Right.
we'll figure it out. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
And that made me realize we're putting so much effort into a situation that will be okay without us.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying quit your job today. I'm not saying go in and be a slacker. That's not what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to be an adult and you still have responsibilities. There's still things you have to accomplish in life. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But we are killing ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, killing ourselves for a situation that will be okay with or without us.
Yes, absolutely.
We are not that important to that situation as we think we are.
That we can't rest.
That we can't rest. That we can't take our 2:15s in our lunch break.
In our lunch breaks.
That once the clock hits clock out time, that we clock out.
Yeah.
All of it, that we physically clock out and we mentally clock out from it. But we're putting so much time into stuff that if something happens to us today, it's going to move on.
Yeah, it has to move on.
That company's going to move on.
It has to move on.
That position you're in, they're going to replace you.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of us don't like thinking of that. We like thinking that we're the vital part and it's not going to run without us, and I have to do and I have to do and I have to do. But that understanding, if God forbid anything happens to you on Monday, trust me, by Wednesday you're replaced.
Exactly.
They'll Tuesday they'll take a little time maybe,
right?
But definitely by Wednesday,
yes,
you're replaced. And now you've missed all this time in life, and you stressed on it, and you put all this wear and tear on your body, to only at the end of the day be replaced.
And here's the thing about that: being replaced at a job, but can't be replaced at your home with your family.
Wow.
Right. So you have to consider everything that you're doing, because if something happens to you, there's no replacing you and your family.
Right.
with your husband, with your children, your grandchildren. So the things when we talking about rest that everyone needs, this is as a totality so that you can be available for what's important
To you.
right
Yeah.
to you and your family. Yes, employment is important, entrepreneur is important. I know you got to feed your family, you got things to do, we're go-getters, your purpose, all of those things are right, are good, absolutely. But what I am saying to you and what we are saying to you is make sure that you get the kind of rest that you can enjoy it,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to be like me, mad at 35-year-old Angela, like, oh sis, you should have did this a little bit better. You should have set this up a little bit better. I'm not talking about finance. I'm talking about your
Talking about
physical,
physical.
mental, and spiritual health should have been set up a little bit better. So now 56-year-old Angela has an attitude, but now she's making up for lost time. I'm just being transparent. It's just me. So now I'm making up for lost time to make sure that 76-year-old Angela, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at this, that 76-year-old Angela will not just dwindle away.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to do when you're going, going, going. So let's talk about the next one.
What's
So we
up?
talked about mental rest.
Right.
Okay. We talked about physical rest. But how about emotional rest?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a concept I can honestly thought I've never thought of.
Yeah. Emotional rest is, from all my research, is basically saying I'm putting, this was so, and I was like, ooh, I'm putting and I'm being true to my feelings. So with that being said, if I'm tired, no is no.
Right.
Right? If I don't want to do it, if I'm not tired, I don't want to do it, no is no.
No, it's no.
But basically being in tune and true to your feelings of how you feel in the situation, in the circumstances that you're in. Because a lot of times we hold our emotions back and we do things we don't want to do the way we don't want to do it. But we'll say that it's okay to do it when we know, or if someone do something to us, somebody will be like, I'm so sorry. Like, no, you're fine. It's cool. When it's not cool.
It's not.
It's not cool. And we begin to swallow and push down our real emotions, not telling people how we really feel. And then at that point, we begin to emotionally be broken.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Emotional maturity is being able to effectively articulate how you feel in a moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what happens is that being quote unquote emotional has gotten a really bad rap.
Yes, absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
anytime you tell someone how you feel about a situation, they always want to say, well, why are you being so emotional?
Or why are you in your emotions?
Why you in your feelings?
Yeah.
Why are you being so sensitive?
Right.
My favorite line. It ain't that deep.
Right.
You know how many times I wanted to rip out somebody's soul
But it ain't that
for
deep.
telling me it ain't that deep.
To me.
Well, to me in this moment it is.
Right, exactly. You're telling me.
And you're not going to validate my feelings in this moment.
Right, exactly.
But emotional maturity is being able to say, I don't really like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that.
Right.
And here's why I'm not a fan of that. This is how that makes me feel.
Right.
And it's not an argument.
Right.
It's me articulating to you how in this moment you've made me feel.
Right.
Now, I may feel differently in the next moment.
But this one?
But in this moment,
right.
And I have a right to feel how I feel. And for whatever reason, we've trained people that they don't have a right to feel how they feel.
Or say no.
Or say no. Can we please normalize
saying no?
No.
Oh, my God.
I will always say no is a complete sentence.
It really is.
Sanchez, can you? No. But why? I don't owe you a but why.
Right. No.
I don't owe you a why. I don't owe you an explanation of why I said no to your request.
But here's the thing. For some reason, when people say no, they come behind it with a reason. No, because I'm asleep. And here's the thing. Not all the time. So don't be blowing up our page or anything like that. But sometimes when we say no and we give the reason why we say no, it's a complete lie.
It is.
It's a falsity.
Yeah.
And it's not why you saying no. The reason why you saying no because you just don't want to do it. No, you ain't got to pick up no kids. No, you ain't got to go to the grocery store. No. So stop making excuses behind the no. The no is the answer. And if whoever you're talking to need to respect the no. But they don't even have to ask a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this, why I said no. I automatically be like, no, because I got to go.
And here's why.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Automatically giving a reason why.
And then justifying yourself.
Right. Justifying why I just don't, I'm
I just
tired.
don't want
I just
to.
don't want to.
And the beautiful, excuse me, the beautiful part. Do you understand how freeing
Mm-hmm.
the word no is? And no justification, just simply saying no.
No.
And how because the stress comes and the agitation comes
You gotta make up something for you.
when when you got to make up something for your no,
Right.
or you're so concerned with the other person's feelings
Yes.
and not your own in
No.
that moment
Right.
that you now you say yes to something you don't want to do.
Right. Absolutely.
Because no, you don't want to watch their kids for a weekend.
Right. No.
No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
And there's nothing about their kids. Their kids are amazing.
Right.
But no, you don't want that responsibility for the weekend.
No.
But because you're so concerned with how this person is going to feel or how they're going to look at you.
Or maybe they need to get away for real. I can do this. I'm tired, but I still can
Yeah.
do it.
And
no.
now what you've done, you've added extra stress into your life,
Exactly.
on your life for something you never wanted to do in the beginning.
Exactly.
Instead of being true to your, I love the fact that you said that. And I've been guilty because
I've been guilty too.
I always say fact over feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say how logical a person I am. I always say how I don't want to deal in emotions because
Right.
emotions are messy.
Right.
And I realize I've been wrong.
Right.
In all of that, I've been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because emotions themselves are not messy.
Right.
They are what they are.
Yeah.
It's how we operate in them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how when we decide to put someone else's emotions before ours.
Right.
Now, I understand there are some situations and some circumstances where you have to put your feelings in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you just have to get it done.
Right.
I get that. There are certain situations in life, if you're dealing with a illness in the family or you're dealing with a financial situation, that all you can do is just head on, get it done. And you don't have time for your feelings and you have to put your feelings in your pocket and you just have to get it done. I get that.
But not all the time.
But not all the time.
Not all the time.
Not, girl, do you want to go to the movies this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Your whole plan was to stay in your house.
Right.
But because she asked you and you know she going through some things and she needs to get out the house, now you're going to say yes to something you don't want to say yes to.
Right.
And now you're going to be agitated the whole time.
And not enjoy it. Now, don't be petty and just be saying no to be saying no. Let's just get that out there too, right? Let's just be truly honest with all of that. But that's a rest that I don't think that a lot of people consider is emotional rest, which means you're basically respecting and being true to your feelings, and also and have the capability to say no when no needs to be no, or I can't do it right now, or whatever you need to say to make you feel good, so you can kind of like protect. Because a lot of things that's happening this year that me and Sense is trying to do, we're trying to protect a lot of stuff, like protect our peace, protect our joy, protect our rest, protect our mind, protect our spirituality. So again, with emotions, it's emotions. When you're doing a emotional rest, you're protecting your feelings, and you actually are protecting yourself.
And a lot of it also is a reprogramming. A lot of us have to be reprogrammed in our thought process and the way we think, because a lot of us grew up being told, I don't care how you feel.
Yeah.
We've heard that a lot in our
This
lives.
is what we need to have done.
I don't care how you feel.
Yeah.
Your feelings are not important. Your feelings don't matter.
Right.
I don't care how you feel.
And as a child, you hear, what feelings? You ain't no feelings about
Yeah.
this.
Or
You're not grown.
my favorite, you too young to have feelings.
Feelings. Like, what?
Like, how does that work? I'm
does it-
a whole human being out here.
I'm little, but I'm human.
I'm just a smaller human.
Right.
And we've been programmed into that. Now we don't know how to operate in our feelings.
Right.
And we don't know how to tell people the truth about how we feel.
Right.
And we don't know how to articulate, no, I don't want to do that. No, there is no particular reason. I just don't want to.
Don't want to.
And most importantly, I don't owe you an explanation of
Yeah.
why I don't want to do it. I just simply don't.
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about this for a moment.
What's
Bring
up?
it back to our grandchildren. So our oldest grandson yesterday, we went to nothing but bundt cake, and was so excited because I wanted us all to try
Yeah.
this
And she was not going to not let us try it.
apple cider caramel bundt cake. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Apple cider caramel, something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, right? It's new, right?
Yeah.
And so super excited about it. I was like, this is gonna be good. So I just bought one so we could share in case nobody else liked it but me, right? Of course. And so I get the forks, I come back out, and so I'm eating it. We're all eating it. The second grandbaby, he's eating. He's like, I want more, more, more. Gave him more. Sanchez had some more. I had some more. So I go to my oldest one, and he only had one forkful. And so I said to him, I said, Pooh, I said, do you want some more? He was like, no. So I asked him a legitimate question. Now he's four, guys. He's four. So I said, did you not like it? He said, yeah, I liked it, Gigi. I just don't want no more. So he stood his ground like, you're not going to
You're
make
not
me
gonna make
feel
me,
bad
about
because
not wanting more.
I just didn't want more. And why? Because I don't want more means I didn't like it. Basically, he was saying, no is no.
Right.
I don't want any more. It has nothing to do with me not liking it or liking it. I just don't want no more. So when I said I don't want no more, why couldn't you basically, in my mind, now that we're talking about this, like, why couldn't you just take his answer and leave it alone? Why did I have to know why he didn't want
And
no
I was gonna,
more?
and actually, I was gonna say that.
That's dumb.
I was gonna say that, and
That's what we do.
that's what we do. Our default nature. We pose a question to someone.
Right.
They give us their answer.
Right.
And then for whatever reason, we don't accept their answer. Because really the end of the conversation was, I don't want any more.
Because that's what he said. I don't want no more, Gigi.
And that's really the end of the
And that was the end of
conversation.
the conversation.
Okay, and then we move on.
But no.
But we've been trained and we've been conditioned to, okay, but why?
But why?
Okay, but I understand you're saying no, but why are you saying no?
And he stood his ground. He was like, I like it. I just don't want any more.
Yeah.
At 4, he was very. That's exactly. And that's how he speaks. He's just very straight forward. And as I'm saying about this, I was like, he respected his feelings,
Right.
and he just wanted me to respect them too. That he said, no, I don't want it anymore. Right. And so he went on about his business, watching his movies, like nothing ever happened, and that made it simple and peaceful for him.
And because if we would understand that redefining how we operate in life
Yeah.
would take away so much additional stress from us.
Absolutely.
Because there are going to be some things, of course, it is life. You're never going to be able to truly eliminate all stressors.
Right, exactly.
Whether you're homeless or whether you're rich, whether you have tens of millions of dollars in your bank account or you got tens of millions of cents in your bank account, you're never going to be truly eliminate stresses in life. Stresses are going to come. As long as you breathe, they're going to be stressors.
Right.
But what happens is that we add additional stressors to our lives. The feeling the need to justify why we say no,
exactly.
or being scared to say no.
Right.
Because we're people pleasers,
Right.
and we don't want anyone to look at us differently, or we don't want anyone else to be upset. So we allow ourselves to be upset. We allow ourselves to be stressed because we're putting someone else's feelings before ours.
Right.
Now, once again, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you go through this life being a selfish jerk. That's not what I'm saying. There's a balance to everything.
Absolutely.
But just like every answer doesn't have to be yes, every answer doesn't have to be no.
Exactly.
There has to be a balance. You have to be able to, I'm sorry, I just search your feelings, young one. And you have to be able to search your feelings to know how you feel. First of all, you respect your feelings. Because one thing we always talk about is boundaries and knowing how to set boundaries and proper boundaries. But to do that, you have to respect your feelings first.
Yeah.
No one is going to respect you unless you respect yourself.
Right.
No one is going to treat you better than you treat yourself.
Absolutely.
So if you want to be treated well,
right,
if you want to be respected, if you want to be looked at in a certain way, you got to do that to yourself first.
Yeah.
How you want someone to treat you, you got to treat yourself that way first.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to show people what to do. You set the plan in motion of what needs to be. You have the manual of how to be treated, and you have to pass out the manual of your life and say, this is how I want to be treated, and respect that, right? So that's it. So here's the next thing. Now, this one, when I searched it, I was like, this is tricky, but I'll bring it up. Is social rest. Now, I had to look, like, what the heck is social rest?
I think I know what social rest is.
Social rest is recharging, spend time alone by yourself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or
My favorite part of resting.
or with close friends, because every now and then close friends, but avoiding large gatherings.
Right.
Because every Christmas party, every Thanksgiving party, every family reunion, everything like those are so sometimes when you're doing that so much,
Right.
you have to take a recharge, and especially if you're a party or a person who likes to party all the time or whatever the case is, or go out all the time. This is where you just take a rest from that sometime and just gather yourself. Put it like that, gather yourself and be alone by yourself for a while and recharge, because sometimes being so social can be overstimulating, and especially for someone like you, because
Right.
it what's the word I'm looking for? Is it overstimulating?
Overstimulates.
Overstimulating for
Mm-hmm.
you? Because Sanchez can't handle a large gathering. It's too much for him. So he will retreat. But sometimes we have to make ourselves, even if we're not that person, to retreat and gather ourselves and just maybe hang with 2 or 3 friends like I do. I don't do
Right.
abundance of people. I'm very demure. But anyway.
There you go. Don't do that. Don't start that.
Right. I'm very mindful. I'm very cutesy. But I pull back sometime and I just have different sets of friends, and normally it's no more than 4 people.
Right.
No more than 4 people. But sometimes you just gotta come back from all the social and just sit with yourself. And I know you love that.
Yeah, but also it goes back to what we were talking about previously. It's okay to say no.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be okay. Very unpopular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to tell your mama no.
Mm-hmm.
No, mama, I don't want to come over. No, mama, I don't want to come to the family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
No, mama, I don't want to come see auntie and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if I haven't seen them in 13 years and they want to see me.
Right.
It's okay. No, I don't want to go to that wedding. No, I don't.
But here's the thing. Also, the flip side of that is because you're such a social person, you got to gather yourself.
Yeah.
And some people love all of that, and then want to know why they wore out,
Yeah.
talked out, mind blown, exhausted. So it comes to a point where you have to say to yourself, I that sounds great, but I'm tired.
And
I need to take time for
Yeah.
myself without having to be a part, even either by myself or with a social or a smaller setting, because I don't need to be around that all the time.
It goes back to what we touched on earlier in the conversation. Being on all the time is draining.
It is draining.
I don't envy you because you are a social butterfly. Because you are that person. You're that person. You light up a room. No matter where you go, people want to talk to you. People want to be around you. You just bring a different energy whenever you walk into any room in any situation. And that's a blessing and a curse, because as you are illuminating everyone else, your internal light is being drained. And if you're not careful, that light is going to go out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once that light goes out, it is very hard to recharge that light to its fullest potential.
Yeah.
And I think
you don't know what to do.
Right. And I think that's the one thing that a lot of people, such as yourself, they struggle and they have trouble with, because it's a love for them. You love being social. I love social. You love the large gathering and talking to 20, 30 different people at a time, and you love that. But it has to be draining, because if you never turn it off, if you're never recharged,
right,
then what do you do?
Yeah, and that's why sometimes I'm by myself. I'm in my closet, or sometimes I'm just with maybe 4 people and giving myself a break, because that's my personality, but I had never considered calling it a social rest.
Right.
I never even considered calling a rest, right? But when you really think about all of the things that we're talking about real rest. We're talking about in these areas you're exhausted.
Yeah.
You're tired. And the thing about this is, before you get exhausted and tired, if you know about these rests, the moment you feel a twinge of that, you'll know what to do. And I think that's what we're on the mic trying to say.
Yeah.
Before you get tired and so exhausted, know that these are some rests that you may need to check. If you feel a certain way, these might be some rests that you need to check and be like, maybe I need to do this particular rest, because before I get exhausted and so tired, I know now, I have knowledge of why I feel the way that I feel. Yeah. And you know now that this is something that you may need to do. So let's talk about...
To thy own self be true.
Yes, Lord. Next one is spiritual rest.
Okay.
And basically, it's just and here's the thing about that. For us, we know spending time alone with the Lord.
Right.
Word of God said, meditate on his word day and night.
Right.
Meditation, with God's word, finding meaning, for the things that you do, right? Spiritually, like, well, God, show me why am I doing it? Give me wisdom, give me understanding about it also, but also spending time in God's nature. Do a trail walk, do grounding. I used to do grounding. I don't know why I stopped. And if you don't know what grounding is, it's just going outside and some fresh grass, some greenery, and just putting your feet no barefooted in the ground. That electricity and the energy that it gives you really works. People think it's like, oh no, it really, really does work. Um, I learned that from my girlfriend Renee.
Right.
Um, it does work, right? But also practicing being in nature, being around things that God has created and paying attention to those things, giving time to look at trees and flowers. Basically, it's always been a joke, oh, smell the roses. That is that's serious business.
Yeah.
Smell the roses. See what you're blessed with, your surroundings, meditating with the Lord, spending time with God, but also just giving yourself a spiritual rest where you just spend time resting in God's word, spend time resting in God's nature, spend time, even if it's just walking and looking at the clouds, spend that time to look at what God has created and being thankful. A spiritual rest is also being thankful for what you see that you've been blessed with. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts?
I hear simplification.
Mm-hmm.
It's because every aspect of our lives have become overly complicated.
Yeah.
Every aspect,
Mm-hmm.
from socially to professionally to personally, every aspect of our lives, and it's with each passing day,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes more and more overly complicated.
Yeah.
When I hear spiritual rest, I hear simplification,
Yeah.
going back to the basics,
Mm-hmm.
going to going to what we did as children. When things got too much for us as a child, we went outside.
Mm-hmm.
When things got overly complicated, when emotions got too high, we we went into a creative space.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we did.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, for me, that's what I hear when it comes to spiritual rest, is going back to that simple space,
Mm-hmm.
putting that phone down, looking out the window. I had the most fun, once again, talking about our grandkids. I had the most fun with my grandkids the other day. And all they did was they were just looking out the window.
Mm-hmm.
They just found it fascinating. They just wanted the trees, and because there's a lake behind our home, and they saw the ducks and the birds, and just looking at three ducks swim
Mm-hmm.
was the most fascinating thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And just watching the wind blow the ripples in the water, and just watching the leaves.
Right.
And they spent about 30 minutes just looking out the window.
Mm-hmm. We love that.
And they had the most fun.
Yeah.
So just sit on your front porch, sit on your back porch, sit on your stoop, and just look at life, and just look at what God has done.
Yeah.
Because the beautiful thing about how God operates is that, yeah, we can always find bad in everything. But in the midst of that, God is always going to show you something good.
Yeah. Something beautiful.
You just have to look for it.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
most beautiful things for me will always be a rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Because the beautiful thing about a rainbow is that it has to get dark, and it has to be a storm, and it has to be bad for you to see it, right?
Right.
You don't typically see a rainbow unless there's a storm, or unless there's rain or something. Something had to happen to generate that rainbow.
Right.
And it's just a reminder that I don't care how dark it gets, I don't care how bad it gets, there is something beautiful within it.
Right.
And that spiritual rest is being able to take the time to recognize and see that.
Mm-hmm.
Even like you said, and I'm not an outdoorsy person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, you're not going to see me camping. You're not going to see me on a lot of nature hikes or walks.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to really see that. That's just not my thing. But when I do it, there is an amazement.
Mm-hmm.
It is a peace
It is a piece.
to just walk,
Yeah.
and not even necessarily have a destination, but just to walk.
Just to walk.
There is a peace that comes with that.
Yeah.
And there is a stress reliever and an openness that comes with it.
Absolutely.
That you just have to take the time. You have to take the time.
Yeah. I think for me, if I had to put a word to spiritual rest, is being mindful.
Okay.
Being mindful, having mindfulness of being present, hearing from the Lord,
Right.
being present. Like I said, watch His nature, but being mindful of all the blessings that you do have and all the things that are around you that you normally wouldn't pay attention to because of the hustle and the bustle. And I'll give you a for instance. Um, Going to work all the time. Work, work, work. Sometimes I go the same way. Sometimes I don't go the same way. Same thing if I go see our mom. Sometimes we go the same way. Sometimes we don't go the same way. And the other day, I think we going to see mommy.
Probably so.
And I was like, oh my God. No, we were. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, what's going on? He thinking a car accident, whatever. I was like, has this always been here? And he's like, oh snap. We pass this place all the time.
Oh yeah, we were coming back from
From mommy. We pass this place all the time, but when we're going to see my mom, we're rushing there. We're rushing back. We're rushing there. And for some reason, we just was driving much slower. And we realized that this farm that we love, that they had sold the farm and all the trees was cut down, all the cows was gone, all the horses was gone, and they was building houses.
Yeah.
And we were blown away. Now, we've been past this place
Multiple
times, guys.
Never paid any attention.
Never paid any attention. But because we slowed down and was just driving and talking, and I happened to look, it blew my mind how we had been driving past this. And I'm not talking about a little farm, y'all.
Yeah, that was acres and acres.
I'm talking about acres and acres. And we did not notice that all the trees was gone and all the animals were gone. So it is about being mindful, practicing being mindful and spending time with the Lord and being mindful of the goodness that is around you. Slow down.
So, and that leads me to ask the question. So family, what are you missing?
Yeah.
Because you're operating in fast forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
What connections are you missing?
Mm-hmm.
What relationships are you missing?
That's good.
What conversations are you missing? What moments are you missing?
What scenery are you missing?
Because you're perpetually operating in fast forward.
Right.
What are your kids trying to show you?
Mm-hmm.
What are they trying to get you involved with? What connections are they trying to make with you that you're missing because you're so busy trying to take care of them?
Yeah. Wow, that's good.
And we've had this conversation before that sometimes we get so caught up in trying to take care of someone that we're not taking care
of someone.
Of them.
Yes, sir.
And so,
been guilty.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask again. So what are you missing because you're perpetually stuck in fast forward?
Yeah. So here's the last one.
What's up?
Sensory rest. Now, again, I had to look this up. I was like, sensory rest. But then I realized it makes sense. Unplugging from screens, your TV, your games, your cell phone, and all of those things that's overstimulating you, especially late at night.
Yeah.
You overstimulated and want to know why you can't sleep. Because you gave all your brain all of this information and all of this stuff, and then turn it off and think that you're gonna lay down. Your brain has to relax. It has to relax. It has to power down, as Sanchez say.
Yeah.
But it's on rush and full mode right now because of everything that you just did right before you go to bed.
Right.
So basically, just unplugging all of those things and just enjoying some quiet time. What it would look like to go in your bedroom and not turn on your TV. Not turn on a game, not turn on a phone, not turn anything, but actually lay there. Now, me and Sanchez have done this. We'll talk about our marriage reset. We'll talk about that. The first 2 days, we was like, well, this is awkward, right? And it's not that we don't communicate each other. It was just awkward because it's what we're doing without even knowing that we were doing it. Mm-hmm. So the first 2 days was very like, wow. But by the third and fourth day, and this is my opinion, it was much easier. And I felt like I not only rest better, but also I felt like I could be more in tune with myself. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the way I'm going to explain it right now. What were your thoughts?
No, it's scientifically proven. The lights from the phone, from the screen, excuse me, I'm sorry, family, from the television, those things stimulate parts of your brain, and it takes a while for your brain to come back down from it because it is a stimulation. And once again, we're not being hypocritical, family. Nope. We're guilty of it ourselves.
Telling the truth.
We're telling the truth. And then we wonder, we spend an hour or two scrolling our phones or on our iPad or watching TV right before bed, and then we wonder why we're restless.
Right.
Because we haven't given ourselves, because we think, well, this is how I need to wind down from my day. So I'm going to scroll on my phone. And that's not winding
That's
down.
not winding. That's winding way up.
Yeah, that's
To be
all. That's all
honest.
you're doing is your body may be in a prone position, but
Come on, speed.
your mind, you rev back up your mind,
Right,
and then you
exactly.
wonder why it takes you so long after you put the phone. When you finally put the phone down or finally put the device down,
Mhm.
now you wonder why it's so long for you to actually fall asleep.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think, yeah. Once again, I go back to what we said. Everything has to be turned off to reset.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, whether it's a computer, whether it's a phone, whether it's a human body, everything has to be turned off
Hmm.
every once and again for the reset.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna be honest, one of the best things I did during the marriage reset
Hmm.
is that I stepped away from TikTok, and I never went back.
Actually, we went back to it.
I never went back because the crazy part, I found myself spending so much time looking at somebody else's life,
Yeah.
being wrapped up in somebody else's life. They doing what they want to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's they trying to be dancers or whatever they doing, or just
Mhm.
entertainers, whatever they're doing. And I found myself 2-3 hours just scrolling
Scrolling through.
through TikTok. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, you never went back to it.
Yeah, and I never went back to it because sometimes you just have to do an evaluation of yourself
Hmm.
and be like, okay, what's stressing me? And that's another thing. I find social media stressing.
Mm.
I find it very
Because you actually
stressing.
took everything off.
Yeah.
I think what you watch YouTube for your podcast and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
YouTube. That's about it. I finally went back to Instagram, but I only went back to ours.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to the Crenshaw Corner Instagram, but that's it because you do all social media, so
Right.
I don't have to.
Right.
But that's about it because I found it became for me it became stressing because something that was meant for a child, because if we honest, TikTok was really, it was a child's app when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
just kids having fun, whatever,
Right.
But of course, because we're human, we take everything and pervert it.
Right.
So now it's everything that's bad and wrong with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's an expert on it, so everybody want to talk about everything that's bad.
Everybody
And,
an expert.
yeah, and then this is what's going wrong, and this and this. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, that's not helping me. That's not
You
benefiting
stressing me
me.
out.
You're stressing me for something that I came to get away from
Right. Stress.
stress.
Mm-hmm.
You're adding more stress to
Became
me.
a stressor. Mm-hmm.
You became a stressor.
Right.
And that's what we do in life. The things that should remove stress
Mm-hmm.
is bringing stress.
Right.
And for some reason, we refuse to eliminate it.
Yeah. And I think also when it comes to unplugging, we had to realize that we don't like quiet time because that's when your mind is going,
Mhm.
going, right? And but the more days that we did it, the better it became. The first 2 days was like, okay, it was like a checklist. Did I do this?
Right.
Since I don't have my phone and I've got TV, let me do the checklist in my mind. But after about the third day, I was like, I can really sit here and chill out.
And be okay.
I could just lay on him and just do nothing.
And be
We
okay.
could just be quiet and don't
And
even
be
have
okay.
to talk and be okay.
Yeah.
So I am fully for the sensory rest. Absolutely. The whole gist of this, the rest that we talked about, is all about recharging.
Yeah.
It is all about recharging yourself with these types of rest. All of these, the rest that we're talking about is not only recharging, but rebalancing your life. Putting your life and aligning your life with a life that you want to have that doesn't necessarily always have to be on.
Right.
Because it is mental rest. Taking a break, taking your 15-minute break at work, or taking a power nap, whatever you need to do, physical rest, again, taking a power nap, spending time physically exercising your body, stretching your body, emotional rest. Basically, again, saying no to things you don't want to do, being true to your feelings.
Right.
Social rest. Basically, you don't have to always be in a large group. Get by yourself, recharge yourself, like yourself, spend time with yourself, buy yourself some flowers, do some stuff for yourself. Again, social media, also with the social rest, and then spiritual rest. Basically, being mindful of what's around you, the good things that are around you, and then there's the
Unplugging.
unplugging. Basically, sensory rest.
Right.
Spend time with yourself, quality time. Once again, being mindful. All of these rests are just to recharge you so you can be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I'm not saying you have to do them all at one time, but every now and then, or maybe once a month, choose 2 or 3 and just do that. right? In the next month, choose the next 2 or 3 and do that. But you have to be able to rest and recharge your body, because without it, your older self is going to be real mad at you.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to give your future self a fighting chance.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to set them in a position where they're looking back at you and they're so angry with you,
My gosh.
and they're looking at their quality of life
Right.
that's lessened
Yeah.
because you didn't want to take the time
Mm-hmm.
to set them up for success.
Set them up. Success.
Because at the end of
I
the
like
day,
that.
everything my wife just talked about is setting your future self up for success.
In all ways.
And it doesn't matter your age you currently are, whether you're 10, whether you're 20,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're 70.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to set your future self up
Yes.
for the best possible life
Right.
that they can have.
Exactly.
And so that means that you have to make decisions now
Mm-hmm.
that's going to benefit them,
Yeah.
where you want them to look back at you
Mm-hmm.
and have very fond memories of you,
That you set me up.
that you did well by me.
Not only did you set me up, because most people think when you set me up, as long as I get your life insurance and finances and all that stuff, but setting you up emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that's a real good setup.
Yeah, that's an amazing setup.
Not just financially, mentally, physically, and spiritually, setting you up. Your future self will be super excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
That's all I got.
What's your thoughts? You okay?
That was it. That was what I just said was my final thought,
Oh,
actually.
come on, final thought.
Yeah, that was it.
Mine was too. That was my final thought too.
All right. Well, family, as always, we thank you. We thank you for being a part. We thank you for listening. However you're listening, whether it's on one of your fine podcast locations,
Fine. Come on now.
or whether it's on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com.
Yeah.
As always, we consider ourselves an interactive podcast, which means we can be found on the socials. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube.
I wasn't even going to help you either.
We're
I
on
was
YouTube.
I was going to see how far you was going to go.
And you can email us at any time at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, no, it's not at thecrenshawcorner.com. That's our web address.
Mm-hmm.
Our email address is actually thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com. That's our email address.
Yeah,
Once
y'all.
again, the
He
Crenshaw
needs
Corners
rest, y'all. He needs
at
rest.
gmail.com.
Yes.
So family, we thank you for listening.
We thank you guys.
As always,
We love you guys.
welcome to our journey.
We love you guys.